Otto here, a very tired Otto. It's been a while. Life has been a bit of a mess. Hopefully it's getting better. But this year has been, that's the verdict. It's not been the worst year of my life, but it's definitely going to be in the top 5, quite probably also in the top 3 worst years of my life. So it's been rough, but hopefully by some weird magical power, when the year suddenly changes from 2018 to 2019, maybe perhaps there will be some special magic that will mean that next year is heaps better. Actually, it doesn't really take a lot to make next year better than this year. Cheers. I'm having my coffee in one of my Moomin mugs. I still haven't found my Christmas mugs. I have started eating off my Christmas china because yes, this Christmas nut does have special china for Christmas. But that might not be why you are here. To be honest, I can't remember all the things that I have worked on since I last had a video. But I know some things and I will be picking up on them. Because I had decided to do a challenge, no, a madness. This was the madness bit. For my birthday, and do 47 days with 4 whips and 7 new starts, and then work on them for 47 days. And I started and it was going well, and I realized a couple of bonus things that were going to happen. And then I was due to go in for surgery, planned surgery, and it went well, except, well, we have learned that I don't do well with anesthesia, and also if I ever have to do surgery again, we need to warn the medical staff that I will probably be speaking in English as I'm waking up, because yeah, for the first long bit, that was the only language I spoke. I could understand it when they spoke to me in Danish, but I would reply in English. Yeah. But the surgery did affect the whole process. It took a while for me to get started again. That was actually mostly because I had a friend come visit for some days, and she sort of poked me. And then, so I had done the 7 starts, and I had worked 1 day on the 4 whips, and then I had gone through the 7 starts once more, and then it was time for the first of the whips. Yeah, and I'm not really, yeah, I'll explain. But at some point I was also, because there was this gap of about 2 weeks where I didn't stitch at all. This meant that those 47 days were beginning, they were already heading halfway into November, and now they were heading into December, and I could tell that I was in a rather Christmassy mood. And then I decided, I mean, this is just this mad thing that I decided I wanted to try. And nobody's going to hit me for saying, okay, I started this, it was fun, but now it's not pulling me, and it's okay to say, okay, fine. I'm going to stop the madness part of my birthday stuff. I'm keeping the challenge. Mind you, I haven't really been doing much on that either. Well, actually. So I'm going to do a recap of these 47 days of stitching madness, which turned out to be rather less, but it was fun and I learned a couple of very interesting things. So we'll start with the first of my new starts, which was this black cat in the bed of flowers, which was on even weave. And was a fun stitch, and I am looking forward to working on it next year. And this is how much I got done on 2 days of stitching, which I don't think that's bad. So this one is definitely going to see some time next year, and I'm looking forward to it. And I started this on my birthday itself because the black cat and my black cat, and he actually became part of my life. That was 13 years ago on my birthday, which was a very bad birthday. Apart from the fact that I got Ramses. That was brilliant. Okay, now the second start was this panda by Permine. Which was also fun. This is a bit tricky. It's on Aida. Not sure which count. It's one of the smaller counts. And this is how far I managed to get on 2 days. And this is a bit tricky because a number of the stitches of the colors, they are done both in whole cross stitches with 2 threads and in whole cross stitches with 1 thread. So there's a bit of trying to figure out which, is this a 2 thread or a 1 thread. But yes, fun, and I expect to be working on this in 2019 as well. One of the benefits, which was totally unexpected from this, was because I was only going to work on every piece for 1 day and then the next day I'd be working on something else. This meant that I started getting into the habit of packing it up and putting it away at the end of the day. This has never been something I've really been good at. I generally left my things as they were. It's not perfect, and I still have this habit of starting to work on something and then just leaving it, but it has done some things in helping me be better about packing up at the end of the day and putting stuff away. So that was unexpected. Now, this is one of those where here. This is an old Eva Rosenstein, and it's the bell pull with the cars. And I managed with 2 days work to get this much done. Not a vast amount, but yeah. And this bell pull has 8 cars on it. So I don't think I will be working on it non-stop, but it has sort of, I could very easily say, okay, now I'm going to aim to get 1 car done, and when the car is done, then I can put it away and do some other projects, and then at some point I want to return back and do another car. So this was fun. This is a possible for next year. I don't think I'm aiming to finish it next year, but just to work on it every now and then. Then we get to, hang on, I actually think yes, I do have a large picture. This was the Christmas teddy bear advent calendar, where I still haven't fully made up my mind about whether or not I want the numbers on. I'm leaning towards not having them, just making it into a picture. And now I have to, it's this way. Instead of the linen which came with the kit, this is another Eva Rosenstein klarvæver. I have opted to take, I don't know, cobalt blue, no, not quite cobalt, but sort of a darkish blue Aida as the background. And that's how much I have managed to get done with 2 days worth of stitching. And this is not going to be packed away quite yet, because yeah, I'm in the mood for Christmas stitching, so this is going to stay. It's not my top priority, but, and I have no ambitions of getting it done by the 24th. This is something I'm just going to chill and enjoy working on, and I get as far as I get. No worries. And now I think this is number 5. This was the new start on the 1st of October, which I chose because 1st of October is the anniversary of when I became a homeowner. Admittedly thanks to Mum and Dad Bank, but that works too. And because one of the things that I really loved about this place is that I had, let me see, it was 17 apple trees and 4 pear trees in the garden. Also other fruit trees, but yes. So apples and pears galore. One of the pear trees has had to, it died completely, so and this was how far I managed to get on 2 days worth of work. And this is something that I will be working on and off. It's got it's not sort of made into units, but you can easily see how the various apples and pears bits that you could treat each one of them as a sort of mini finish, and that's what I will be aiming for, and I fully expect to be working on it next year. I do not expect to finish it next year, but that's fine, no worries. Then there was the 6th start. This was the one where this Egyptian partner piece to the one that I had started earlier this year, which I haven't finished either, but never mind. But actually, and there was a bit of mess up. So we actually ended up going to Odense on Monday afternoon and spending time being there because I had to be at the hospital at 8:30 in the morning. So, but I had to get up I had to take a specific medicine at 6:30. And I had to shower and do all that, and then there was still some time left, so I started on it. And then when we got to the hospital and I got changed, and then before I got rolled down to surgery, there was time, so I spent working on that. So I got rather more done than I'd expected on the 2nd, but this is 2 days worth. There's a camel, unless it's a dromedary. I keep forgetting which one is which. But that's how far I got with 2 days of stitching on this one. And that is my scarab needleminder from, oh god, she does Flosstube videos. Denkai. That's not her Flosstube channel, but that's her needleminder business on Etsy. I will put her information below. I had noticed that Ingeborg at A Stitch Too Far used her needleminders, and yeah, I went over there when I suddenly discovered that, hey, I actually could use needleminders. Okay, and then the last of the new starts, which is a kit I have had in my stash since before I was 17, so it's been in my stash for 30 years at least. It is this little mini bell pull with the wreaths and the 2 robins. And it's a small piece, and it is slightly annoying because it's confetti stitching. And this is the whole fabric, so yeah. But this is what I have managed to get done with 2 days of stitching. Also, I discovered that I had messed up because these pine needle branches, after I had made all of these, I for some reason looked at the pattern, read the instructions, stupid thing, and realized that these were, instead of doing them as backstitching, which I had been doing, it was supposed to be long stitches. And I didn't really know if I was going to unpick it or anything, and I posted about this on Instagram, and everybody said they couldn't see that it mattered, and they told me, just go ahead, just carry on as you've done. So yeah, this is going to get some working time now. That's actually something that I would really like if I could finish it this Christmas. I'm not sort of going to have it mounted up as a bell pull. There will be more about that sort of stuff later. But if I can have it done, the embroidering, I am going to be utterly chuffed. Because, yeah, that means that for next Christmas I can have it hanging on the wall. So, and I can see that my camera is telling me it would like to cool down a bit. So I'll take a break here and then I'll pick up with the 4 whips, and then you'll find out why things came to a halt. So I'll see you in a little while. Bye. Okay, hopefully the camera has now cooled off enough. Right, the 4 whips. The first of those whips, now where is the picture, was one that I have actually been hunting for most of this year. And finally I found it, and now I've got I'm keeping it, and it's a Teresa Winsler. It's the Dragon Rider, is that? Yeah, Dragon Ride. Which I had started on a number of years ago, and which has since been just hanging about. And actually, I can't remember if I have a picture somewhere of, well, never mind, because the amount of work I got done on it is pathetic. It's done on an even weave, I'm not sure what count, and this is what it looks like right now. And what I managed to do on the one day that I worked on it was a little bit of the cross stitches here and some of the back stitching. Not a lot. Yes, Teresa Winsler is infamous for the blended threads. There are fractionals this way and that way, half stitches and quarter stitches, and working on this one day at a time is not enough. This needs a bit more than just one day to really get into it, and because I have to figure out where I am so many places here, and it's getting a bit dirty, yeah, and that's the reason why I slammed into a wall, because I was set for doing the second day of this and I wasn't feeling it. So yeah, c'est la vie. That was what I managed. Not a whole lot, but yeah, I don't know when I'll be working on it next. I do know my head needs to be in a better place than it's been for a long while. There are all sorts of things going on around me. There have been, well, I've been having some health issues. Dad has been having health issues. There are some issues with the family summer place up in Finland, and it's all rather been messy, and that saps brain power, and yeah, so who knows when that will see some action. Number 2 whip was this bunnies in a cabbage patch, which is also one of those tricky ones where some of the stitches are done with 2 threads and some are, I think, only with 1, and then there are half stitches and whole stitches as well. Lots of fun, eh? And I might have a picture of where I was when I picked it up. If I can find it and I have the brain, I will put it in, yeah. And if I don't, well, then you're just going to have to see. This is where I am on it currently. It was a bit tricky to get started on again, but definitely not as hard as the Teresa Winslow one, and this was actually fun to get cracking on again. I think this is also one where I need more than just one day at a time to work on this. At least until I really get the feel for where am I, what bits am I going to work on next. But this was actually fun. It's been lying around for maybe 10 years, so it felt good to pick it up again. But I'm not going to work on it this year anymore, and it would be nice to work on it next year. It could even be something I could aim for a finish. Then there was this one, which is an old friend, my Christmas nativity thingy with all the animals, and this is the one where I'm really feeling it. I'm really feeling it. And I did mostly for my one day, I did work up in this corner, started filling in the trees here, getting them all done. And this is going to be my main focus from now on, because I would really, really love to finish it this year, this Christmas. In my book, Christmas ends with Epiphany, so that's actually in January, but I'm even thinking that having this as a finish in 18 is actually possible. So there's a good deal of backstitching which needs doing, which is why I'm not quite sure. But I have started on some of it, and this is going to be my main focus. And it's this and the mini belt pull with the robins that are going to be my key Christmas things. And then the last of my 4 whips was the Heaven and Earth Christmas ride, and I'm not really quite sure how much. I think I did work a bit more on the antlers, both down here and up here, and well, yeah, one day's work does sort of limit how much progress you'll get to see on one of these pieces. And this is not anything I have any ambitions of finishing this year. You're really surprised about that, aren't you? And if I can have it done by next year, I will be super impressed with myself. So this will definitely be seeing work every now and then. I think possibly this is one where a week at a time. Maybe if I do a week per month, well then I definitely won't get it done, but maybe. But that was what my 47 birthday madness ended up with. Not the 47 days, not quite the madness, but fun while it lasted. And I learned some things, because I also realized that I think 7 new starts in one go is probably my maximum, because I was really keen to work more on each of them. So I'm probably not going to Stitch Mania, where with all the many starts, a new start every day, that's not going to be for me, because that many starts, no, it's not enjoyable for me. 7 is fine, but more than that, unless they maybe are very small ones, all of them, then it might be a different thing, but no. Which is good to know. And then I also discovered that this actually helped train me to put my things away. Didn't do the job perfectly, but it was a good start. But Christmas, I have started on a mini. Actually, have I shown you the last of my 3 Wise Men Mill-Hill beaded things? I can't remember, but I have them all done. And I only have one Santa's head left. I might work on it this year, maybe not, but I need to get my paws on some of the other Mill-Hill Santas because I like them. But I had this mini kit, in my stash. And you all know that I am not just a cross stitcher, I do lots of other crafts as well. And one of the things that I do is scrapbooking. And in the scrapbooking world there is a phenomenon, well, there are several variations of it, but December daily or journal your Christmas, or there are various options of making a Christmas album about December. Some people start from Thanksgiving, and there are people who go all the way to Epiphany. I'm one of those. But I have had the idea, and I've been trying to work on it these past years. I've only done it, this is my third year. But I like to get some of my other, there's not just paper crafting in there. So I've been sometimes doing small cross stitch things to put in, and this little guy is almost done, and he's going to end up in my scrapbook album for this year's Christmas, this season. And he's almost done, and he is going to, I think if I just sat down one day and said, right, today I'm going to finish him off, then that would be that. But I've been having fun with him every now and then. He's easy to bring with me, travels well. So I'll be working on him. Then there is another project that I started on, that's several months ago. And I've managed to get this far done, and I can't show you what it's supposed to look like because it was a library book and I've had to return it. But it's a type of decoration that the Danes use, in traditional old style, small cones, and then they have a handle, and then they are hung on the Christmas tree, and small goodies are put in them. And anyway, this book had a number of them made in a cross-stitch version of them, and they're not really my thing, but I wanted to try. And well, this is part of it, and I am going to work on it. And at some point I hope to be able to borrow the book again, and then get it finished and get it mounted, and maybe I'll be able to get that done in this year, but no biggie. So that's also an option for what I'll be stitching on from now on to the end of the month. But that is basically my stitchy stuff for this episode, what I've been up to and what I'm going to be working on. I am thinking ahead for next year. I'm beginning to have some ideas, plans, ambitions about what I want to do cross stitch wise. But I'll show you those in a later video. I have been doing some knitting, not a lot. I lost my crafting mojo in general, but I had, okay, these are two of them, and I'm just going to stuff them on my paws because that way I can show you them. It was a knitting kit that I bought, but they were all supposed to be purple, and I didn't feel like that. It's the Three Wise Men. So I bought some extra yarn and am now doing them in 3 colors, and I'm almost done with the third. almost at the top of his hat, and then he needs a beard. And these are going to be a Christmas present for my mum, so hopefully she doesn't watch my videos. I'm pretty sure she doesn't. So that's what I have been mostly knitting on lately. I have been crocheting on a massive piece, and I can't show you the pattern because, or a picture of it, because the only picture I have is the pattern. And let's see if I can get, it's supposed to turn this way, and yeah, I can't even show it really. This is also the Three Wise Men. It's their bottom halves, and I hope that when I get to blocking it, I get it much more stretched out. It was not meant to be this big. I swatched for it, and I was sort of reasonably okay. But that was supposed to give me a width of, I think it was 24 inches. And I think when I measured this, it was 31 inches. Yeah. So this is, I hope to get it done. I have had problems because I have only, in the 1.5 millimeter size, I only have a crochet hook with one of these handles. And they are not ideal for my paws. And I have been waiting for a crochet hook, but there have been problems because apparently they have had trouble getting steel to make the metal bit. Yes. But that's sort of what I've been up to, mostly. Now, I have noticed that there is this thing called Vlogmas. I might be doing sort of my own mini version. I have promised a few people I was going to do a few paper crafting videos. They saw these stars, which are a traditional Danish Christmas decoration, and these are, I mean, originally they were just made in white paper, and then things got more advanced and you could get red paper to make them, and then things got a bit more advanced and you could even get some metal foil to make them with. But I have promised to make a video showing how to make those. I have also, where did I put them here? You are probably familiar with the Danish Christmas hearts, and these are some slightly, this is sort of more the typical ones that you see. These are a serious thing here in Denmark, at least according to a number of people. And I have also been thinking of making some videos showing how you can make these yourselves, starting with the more simple ones and then progressing to the more advanced. And I have also been thinking maybe I should show people some of my Christmas decorations around the house, because I am something of a Christmas nut. At the moment I actually don't have all that much up, and I'm fine because I'm enjoying writing Christmas cards at the moment. Well, bit stressing, but and I will be, next week I will be going to Flensborg in northern Germany. This was totally unexpected. I enjoy writing Christmas cards. I enjoy receiving Christmas cards. And this is one of the ways of making Christmas be Christmas for me. Unfortunately, the way things have been going in the past few years, the Danish postal service has been going steadily downhill, and their prices have been going steadily up. And basically I have to go to Germany to send my Christmas cards because, okay, yeah, it means well, not an expensive trip, but it means a trip, and it means some expenses I wouldn't normally have had, but quite a good deal of those expenses are actually covered by my savings from sending my Christmas cards from Germany instead of from Denmark. So I was thinking maybe I would do some filming from Flensborg and the Christmas market there. Maybe some people would find that interesting, even though it isn't Danish. It's still maybe not what you are used to as a rule. And there are a number of different ideas I have about possible themes for Christmas videos. And like I said, I am one of these people who, 12 days of Christmas, that starts with Christmas Day, the 25th of December, and then 12 days, all the way to Epiphany, or Three Kings Day, when La Befana turns up, if you have any Italian connections. So I will probably see my final Vlogmas video or whatever on the 6th of January. There won't be Flosstube videos, but I will probably be bringing cross-stitch in some of these Vlogmases, but I will be sure to give an idea in the title, or at least in the description. So if you want to click and watch, you're welcome. And if you want to wait till I get round to making a real Flosstube, well, feel free to do that. And I'm probably forgetting a lot of other stuff, but I think I'm going to say this is good enough for now. And if I don't see you before because you don't want to watch the other videos that I'll be making, well then, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Don't get your fingers and eyes blown off or smashed by fireworks on New Year's. We don't want any of that. We need our eyes, we need our fingers to do our stitching. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. And take care of yourselves. And I hope to be back in not too many days. So, bye for now. I remembered, if any of you have any questions about Danish Christmas traditions or Finnish traditions or anything which you feel you would like to know, just type your question in the comments, and then I'll see if I can't manage to answer them in one or the other of the Christmas vlogs. That was just what I'd forgotten to say before. Okay, bye.